Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm meadsy69. Welcome back to the channel. Now, the next update, 8.7, we have recently spoken about how the tier 9s are going to be rebalanced, and we had a look at just a few tier 9s. But now that blitz hanger has been updated, we're going to look at every single balance change that we can and talk about which tanks have been affected the most and which tanks are now either going to suck or they're just going to be the same, or they're going to be better. So let's have a look. We're going to look at firstly the T92E1. Just a small, I say a small buff. The shell velocity on the APCR is getting buffed by quite a lot, to be honest, and of course on the shell velocity on the heat is getting nerfed. I can't see that being too much, to be honest. It's not that big of a deal, and the shell velocity on the HE is getting a buff as well. So the buffs are actually quite good buffs, but the nerf there is nothing major. M46 pattern, the dispersion is getting, I mean, that's nothing really. I don't know why Wargaming do this. These tiny little buffs, you're not really even going to feel the difference from that buff there on the pattern. M5 Yo, as we know, the aim time is going from 2.44 to 2.78, but the dispersion again slightly better. Probably not going to notice that much either, even with the aim time. The buff and the nerf, you're not really going to notice too much with that. AE phase 1 is getting a buff again, ever so a slight buff there, not going to even notice. Now the T95, the rate of fire is going from 4.19 to 4.04, so a nerf there, but again nothing major. You're looking at about half a second reload, and of course the DPM is going from 2679 to 2584 on your basic ammunition. So a little bit of a nerf, but not too much. But with that nerf, you are getting a buff, and that is the speed from 16 to 20. So that is quite a big nerf. So on this occasion, I do think that the buff outweighs the nerf on the T95, so a good buff there. T54 dispersion, again nothing really. It is getting a buff, but nothing really too spectacular on that gun there. On the 100 D10 2C2 is nothing, but the 100mm D54 is where that buff is, but again nothing really to write home about. The same as the ST1 speed nerf from 40 to 38, not really going to feel the difference with that. IS8 dispersion, 0.364 going to 0.345, little buff there, but it is getting quite a big nerf. I think 5 kilometers an hour for this tank in particular. It is known for its speed. Now it's only going to go 45, so again there the nerf outweighs the buff, so that is all in all overall a nerf there for the IS8. Object 704 HP is going up 250, so that is actually quite a nice buff. Rate of fire from 4.47 to 4.06, and that is just over a second more on the reload, so that is a nerf there on the reload. But the traverse is going up again, probably not going to feel the difference, but yeah, again the nice HP buff, but it is getting a horrible nerf with the DPM, almost 200 or just over 200 DPM less, so that's quite a big nerf there for the Object 704. Not even sure why it has the nerf, but it's getting nerfed. Now the E50M rate of fire going from 7.10 to 7.36, reload time, it loses what, again not too much difference, and the gun dispersion from 0.288 to 0.316, so not a bad buff, but again the nerf isn't great. It isn't great. I mean 0.316 is still decent, but yeah, the dispersion is not going to be as good as it was. 0.288 is actually very, very good. So the 100 or so DPM, I probably don't think that outweighs the nerf, but it's a nice buff, but a horrible nerf there for the E50. Now the Leopard PTA rate of fire 7.36 going to 7.63, and the reload from 8.15 to 7.86. And again, the dispersion, you're not going to really feel too much of that dispersion. So a nice little buff there, not massive, but you feel it a little bit. I mean, you're just getting around about 100 DPM more, which isn't great, to be honest, but it's still a buff. VK45, the traverse speed is getting nerfed on that tank. Again, you're probably not going to feel it too much, but it will go a bit slower. So a horrible nerf there for the VK45. Penetration on the Camp Panzer 70 is going up by 5. Again, not too much, and that's only on the APCR. So from 240 to 245. Jag Tiger, dispersion 0.316 to 0.326. Once again, not going to really feel too much difference for the Jag Tiger. The Waffle is, of course, being nerfed. This is a horrible nerf, I think, for the Waffle. The view range is going down. The rate of fire is going down. The reload time is going up by about a second. So the DPM goes from 2762 to 2584. So the speed going forward gets an extra 2 kilometers. Yes, so of course that is a horrible nerf for the Waffle. Horrible nerf, and the buff, you're not even going to feel the difference. Dispersion on the Cent 701 0.307 to 0.345. So again, not a good thing for the Centurion in that nerf. That's not going to feel too much, but it's still a horrible nerf. Conway, the power to weight ratio is going up, but all the hard terrain, etc., is going down. What else? The traverse speed is going down. So all in all, not a great nerf there for the Conway, but again, you're not going to feel it. Look at the traverse speed, 22 on hard terrain, 22.09 to 22.07. You're not even going to feel that. Medium terrain, 20.08 to 20.07, not going to feel it. And soft terrain, 14.73 to 14.71, you're not going to feel it. So nothing really changed there to the Conway. Now for me, the biggest change is the Tortoise, and that is the rate of fire 8.13 to 8.57. That gives it a 7-second reload up rather than the 7.38. It is getting a dispersion nerf though, and that's a horrible nerf from what it was, 0.297 to 0.336. So the DPM is going from 3251 to 3429. So almost a 200 better DPM, but on top of that, we are getting a armor buff there for the Tortoise as well. Type 61, not going to fill that view range. WZ1114, not really going to fill that. The speed, again, is a horrible nerf for these heavy tanks, 50 to 45, so you will feel that. So not a great nerf there for the WZ. AMX 5120, rate of fire 5.94, and it's going to 6.14. Magazine reload from 2430 to 2333. So a whole second off the magazine reload, but for that second, you are getting extra base aim time, and of course the traverse speed is getting nerfed. But yeah, it's again nothing major about the AMX 5120. AMX Foch, the 59, the AMX, the tier 9 Foch, rate of fire 7.63 to 8.5 seconds, and that is almost a second off the reload. So not too bad. Again, power to rate ratio on the hard terrain, soft and medium is getting nerfed. DPM is going up by almost 400. What a good buff that is. That is actually a really good buff. 3053 to 3429. So that there is a fantastic buff for the Foch there. The Skoda T50 base aim time 2.01 to 1.82, and the dispersion 0.355 to 0.345. Not really going to feel the difference. You're probably not even going to be playing this gun unless it is stock anyway, and you can't afford to get the upper gun. A Mil 2 Turret traverse speed is going down, and that is quite a big nerf, to be honest. 20.86 to 16.69. So that's a horrible nerf. The traverse speed, in my opinion, doesn't outweigh the nerf for that tank. Doesn't even need the nerf, to be honest. But, you know, it is what it is. Not going to talk about that tank. That's not even in the game yet. Wolverine in tier 5. The tier 5 gun, again, it's going to change from 76 to 75. You're not even going to feel these lower tank buffs or nerfs. So armor profile, I mean, let's have a look what the armor profile is saying. As you can see, the side armor here on the VK currently yellow, and it goes more the orange, so that is getting a nice buff. Might make it easier and much better to side scrape in the VK. And the Centurion is, look at that purple, look at that sort of light purple, and that's going to be very, very strong on the gun mantlet. So very nice buff for that Centurion. The Conqueror is getting a turret buff. Again, here it's yellow, it's going to orange. Not going to be too much different, I don't think. And the buff that I really wanted on the Tortoise, you can see at the moment next to the gun, you can see it's orange, and of course the hatch is yellow and a little bit orange. You scrub that over and you can see that is getting a nice buff. It's going more red, and also the hatch is getting a bit more red. And if you look at the lower plate, currently it's like this, and it goes even more red. So that is the buff, hopefully, that I wanted on the Tortoise. I was only expecting one buff, like either the hatch or the whole front. I didn't want them both because I think that could make it too strong, especially with the DPM buff with that as well. But will the Tortoise now be a fantastic tank? It already has a fantastic gun. It just needed the armor profile to go with it. Now hopefully we have that, but we'll find out when it goes live. Of course, we're going to play it to see if it's changed much. We're not really going to take too much. I mean, the Type 61, the turret has been a little bit stronger there, not really going to make a difference there. And the same with the T55A, the front turret on the right. You can see it's sort of yellowy orange to more orange, so nothing really too much about that. TS5, you can see the side of the turret is currently that, and it's going a bit more stronger on the TS5. And the armor profile, I think, is probably going to be buffed in general for the Tiger 2, but because it's getting the PBR files, it will probably make it a little bit stronger. You can see the hatch there currently like that, and it changes just a little bit. So nice Tiger 2, I think, is still going to be nice. You can see Turtle Mark 1, nice little buff there. Probably needed it, to be fair. It's just like a Tortoise, and it plays just like a Tortoise. So nice little buff there on the armor profile for the Turtle Mark 1. Not too much difference there, I don't think, on the 53 TP, and the KV2 again is going to be changed a little bit because it is getting that PBR file update. So it will probably be, I don't know if it will be any stronger. So that is it, guys. Let me know in the comments your favorite buff. 100% my favorite buff will be the Tortoise, and I will be playing it, and hopefully it exceeds my expectations, but we will see soon enough. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'm Meadsy, and I'll catch you all soon. Bye bye. With